Ah, before Yorkshire was on the map, or the House of Yorkie was founded, who are my people? The brigands of Brigantia. Let me take you back in time now, to my time in Golarion. It's Pathfinder Kingmaker. It's time now to head back, speak to Oleg, and collect our reward. You're in the way. Still, the back of your head is more pretty than the front of mine, so there is that. This is not the right time to be attention-seeking, TikTok. It's really not. Looks like we're a little slow. A little weighted down right now. It's okay, all that junk will be sold. Everything's done. Oh, we need to talk to Nettle as well. Damn Nettle. The Nightmare Creator. Slain by the Stag Lord, wanting revenge. We've got his revenge.
I need to catch my breath.
Tell me, my Octavia.
Reg, I don't want to yell at you again. I'll just tell you calmly for the 500th time, don't call me that.
You know what they say, all's fair in love and the war that follows it. Oh, Davik! We killed your boy! Been in there already. There he is. Staglord is dead, but Asthma waits. Farewell, Yorkie the Barbarian. The corpse crumbles to the ground. We got a little spear, +1. Let's see if there's anything over here.
I see something.
Something is.
We do it my way.
There. A coin. Found a few different coins. Right, back to Alex. Come on, Mimi.
I need to catch my breath.
Nope, we're going to keep going. Enter.
I require rest.
Don't worry about it. You will be doing soon. Sell the junk, and then we're done. Well, he catches up with you near the trading post and touches you on the shoulder. Yorkie the Barbarian, can I talk to you? Now Staglord is defeated, you rightfully own this stolen lands. Commander Aldori will endorse you and grant you the Baron's title. The girl looks at you with interest and a little apprehension. What will you do when you sit on the throne, Yorkie the Barbarian? Please don't say you haven't thought about it. About what I'll do, all that matters is what I'll be getting. No. Yes and no. Whatever happens, I hope you are beside me. I appreciate your help and I appreciate you yourself, Valerie. Valerie carefully studied your face for a long time as if trying to find something. Finally gives you a soft smile and shakes her head. I would put down any other man who would say this, but not you. I'm sure you value me, my support, my military talent, and other bits too. I'm after all a barbarian. Show me your wares. Offer everything. No one's going to use that. Probably no one's going to use that. No one's going to use that. Or that. Or that. Or that. Don't know about the others, but I don't think so. Have a look at the board, that's the main thing I'm thinking about right now. Ronaldo, you could use it. Got another bow there, haven't we? Swap that out for that. You got a scimitar plus 1, 2 to 7. Got an agile rapier. See, in his case, finesse wielding doesn't help us any. In your case, it does. That's fine. Let's have a look at the armor now. I'm wearing art plate plus 1 at 9. That's not going to be beaten by any of that. You're not wearing any. There's a good reason for that. You're wearing would need to be light armor. That's a better wear than that. Heraldia, you're already wearing what's got there. Miri, Lindsay, you've already got the best we can there. Miri, hang on. You got 7 there, what's that one? 6. Now, the stag lord's gone. We found his fortress and sent the villain to oblivion. Oleg looks at you with respect bordering on admiration. And good riddance, maybe now we'll be able to actually live in the stolen lands, rather than just surviving. Oleg sighs. Without a doubt, more people will flock here now. It'll surely boost trade. But all the noise they'll bring with them, well, none of your concern. I bet you can't wait to return to Lestov. It awaits. Off we go.
I require rest.
Good work. Nice to see I haven't lost my intuition for people. Not many would have managed to set out to the stolen lands and return with the Stag Lord's head. but I knew you could handle it.
Intuition for other people. You didn't think I was any better than Tattooed, sure.
Congratulations are in order. Today, you'll receive the title of Baron before the High Society of Restov, and even Natala Sertova personally. God's bless her. Tomorrow, you'll be able to return to the Stolen Lands if you wish, but this time, as a ruler. But matters of state can wait. For now, enjoy this feast in your honor.
Feasting!
All the city leaders are here. It's a great opportunity to make some useful connections. Speaking of connections, let me introduce you to Kasil Eldori. He's my adopted son and apprentice. He's a trustworthy man. I'd like to send him with you as an envoy.
So having said you weren't going to try and control things, it'd be ours. You're now trying to implement your own people. Young Harpop with impeccable poise, performs a textbook perfect bow. Do you mind what kind of game are you playing?
Yes, you certainly have that right. But tell me, how well do you know Brevoy's history or the current political atmosphere? It won't be an easy explanation.
What do I need to know?
What's now called Brevoy was originally two different countries, Rostland and Issia. 200 years ago, they were stuck in constant squabbles. Then, Korol the Conqueror showed up and united the two states into one. Such diplomatic tricks are easy to manage when you have dragons at your disposal. The so-called noble houses of Brevoy, mainly Sertova, Orlovsky, and Lebeda, once ruled over Issia. We, the Eldori, ruled Rostland. The royal house Rogarvia, founded by Korol the Conqueror, forced us into obedience. But 200 years isn't long enough to make peace with such a troubled history. Even 2,000 years wouldn't be enough for us to accept Issian rule. Brevoy is a country held together by a thread, and that thread grows ever weaker.
Do you need to know about the current politics?
We, the Eldori and the great noble houses, spent 200 years under the rule of invaders, the royal house Rogarvia. We plotted, we schemed, we stabbed each other in the back, but open confrontation was out of the question. But a few years ago, House Rogarvia disappeared. No one knows how or why, but one day, their manors were just empty. And the force that held Brevoy together, that kept us from a bloody feud, ceased to be.
Well, what do we have here? Sounds like there's a power vacuum at the top.
Brevoy is currently ruled by the House Sertova, the former kings of Issia. But their
Sorry,
power
just pausing, I
pales
think,
in
for a moment
comparison
there.
to that of House Rogarvia when they were here. So now Sertova and Eldori stand facing each other, staring each other in the eye, waiting for the other to draw their sword. It's an untenable situation. No one wants a civil war that would drown Brevoy in blood, but peace between us is also out of the question.
Yeah, what are your plans for me?
Rostland wants to regain its independence, and we will regain it. The power the Issians hold over us is humiliating and costly, and the Sertovas won't give us our freedom without a fight. That is, unless there is some external power that can force everyone to sit down and talk. Do you see where this is going?
Yeah, you want me as a puppet.
The Stolen Lands are disputed territory. Brevoy can't appropriate them without raising protests from each of the neighboring states. However, if some brave people were to found independent states on that land, it would be another matter entirely. My hope is that you and your future neighbors, Baron Hannes Drelev and Captain Mager Varn, will become our allies. But even your neutrality would introduce a powerful counterbalance to the aggression of the noble houses. Maybe, with your help, the inevitable division of Brevoy can occur without too much pain.
I'm not convinced by this at all. Not in the least. Don't you have any other allies?
We hope to get some help from the Maivani Eldori, the descendants of the Sword Lords who have fled from Korol's rage to build a new nation in the south. But the Issians know this well, and are doing everything they can to deny us this help.
This is
I
not
won't go into
convincing me.
details, But if my intelligence is correct, if a civil war starts in Brevoy, Myvan will be too occupied with its own inner troubles to interfere.
It sounds like you want to use us as human shields, to be honestly.
Restov is a free city, proud of its independence from everyone, including the Aldori Sword Lords. But when it comes to Rostland's liberation, our goals align. This whole plan is our joint creation with Lord Mayor Yosef Selemius.
If Natala's already here, why'd she let you grant me the title?
Actually, she could still intervene and disrupt the proceedings. But she's a Sertova. Their games are always complex and multi-layered. They're always looking for ways to turn defeat into victory. If she's decided to allow you to become a baron, it means she already has some idea of how she can turn it to her benefit. Let's consider how she could do so. Maybe she understands that Rostland will inevitably separate and she doesn't want a war. In that case, new states in the Stolen Lands give the Isians a reason to sit down and talk without losing face. But that's an optimistic view, and truth be told, it doesn't quite match up with what we've come to expect from the Sertovas. The more likely scenario is that Natala wants to win you over to her side. If war breaks out and at least one of you stabs us in the back, Rostland will be surrounded by enemies. That might be enough to bring about our downfall. But you would fall first, and your newly formed states would be left in ruin. The Isians always like to have someone around to pull their chestnuts out of the fire for them.
It sounds like you want us doing that too.
Friendly advice? Don't do business with House Sertovas, no matter what promises they make you. Any deal with the noble houses is a deal with devils.
What happens next?
How should I know? We're in the middle of a big game. And today, you move from being merely a piece on the board to being one of the players.
Right, I've heard enough.
I hope you have a better understanding of what's at stake.
You already know about Tartuccio?
Of course. Keston gave me a full report. You dealt with the scoundrel perfectly. It would be naive to think that none of your neighbors will try to stick their hands in your affairs. Especially that sly fox Iravetti.
I don't need an envoy.
Don't think I'm trying to impose a nanny or
are.
a spy on you. We're neighbors now. You'll need someone knowledgeable about Brevoy's politics to act as an ambassador to your court. If you don't like Casil, you're free to choose someone else, but I won't be able to vouch for the loyalty or trustworthiness of another envoy.
I'm not convinced at all. I'm really not convinced by this. I think both sides want to use us as a pawn.
Enjoy your evening.
I've got her, who's played it close to the chest already, so I already know not to trust her. I've got Satova. Oh. We apparently missed one. How do we miss that? Okay. A handsome, well-dressed young man of about 17 years looks at you with a polite smile. You're the famous slayer of the Stag Lord's gang, soon to be Baron. Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Lander. Just Lander, no last name or title. Well, let's just say I'm here incognito. Under my circumstances, it's wise to keep one's lineage to oneself. Truth be told, that's precisely what I want to talk to you about. See, I'm an heir to one of the Brevoy's noble houses. Won't say what you want, but believe me, newly appointed Baron with no connections would do well to have a friend like me. And you've proven yourself dishonest already, you won't tell me anything. I travel the country in secret without servants so I can see it for myself. Not from a carriage window, but face to face with people. My family would never approve, of course, but then I never asked. I need to know Brevoy if I'm going to rule part of it someday. I know Jumandi wants to impose a stepson on you as emissary of Brevoy. Refuse. Take me. I'm not taking you. Yeah, you went behind the ears. You're useless. I'll consider it. No, I won't. The guard. Jaethal. All this a feast. Megavan. This man is obviously more comfortable on the battlefield than in the company of nobles. He's well built, but the expensive waistcoat he's wearing doesn't quite fit properly, as though it was borrowed. He has a few pale scars across his face, and his dark hair is grown into an unkempt ponytail with a few streaks of grey running through it. He greets you with a broad smile and a firm handshake. Let me introduce myself. I'm Maker Van, the new ruler of Dunsward. Your neighbour to the east. Like you, I'm about to be a baron. Great job with the Stag Lord, by the way. Not everyone could exterminate a whole band of bandits. Such a small team. How did you earn it? Truth be told, my team and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Jomandi Aldori needed someone reliable to take hold of the territory. I'm the captain of the mercenary team. That wasn't clear. Vanling host. Have you heard of us? No, no matter. We've done work for Jomandi before. This time the task was simple. We just waltzed into the area, cleared it of the most brazen monsters, and built a small fort to hold the place. And for that, a barony and land to own. It's a dream job. Basically, you did the same as us, just with different groups. How do you feel about being noble? Looking at his rich clothes, Vans works like a pheasant on a plate. I killed all kinds of monsters, but this is the first time I felt so strongly, like turning away could get me eaten. He nods towards an arrogant man in the other corner of the room. See that lad? Baron Drelev. He's not like us. Who knows what generation of baron he is? Didn't even shake my hand. You and me were like dirt beneath his boots. That's why those like us, the newly made nobility, need to stick together. Otherwise, he'd take my hand and yours in a blink of an eye. I like this guy. Miri. Wine's alright, nice and strong, but the appetizer's barely a mouthful. Yes. Well, Tattoo Chioik, how's it going? How did we? Yeah, he's drunk. Tristan.
Will you drink with me?
Of course.
To beauty. It sweetens our happy days and brings solace to our dark and sorrowful ones. But jokes aside, I came to apologize. I know the words I said in our conversation with Lady Aldery might have offended you, but this was not my intention. The lessons life has dealt me were not easy. I've learned to be wary of new acquaintances, which is why I've refused to join your party. I hope you will forgive me for this weakness and for my harsh words. And I hope you will hear me out, for I have something to tell you.
No need to apologize. I don't expect everyone to meet to immediately fall under my charms. And trust me.
How amusing. Usually those who don't seek affection are the very ones who receive it. Anyway, enough sweet talk. There is something important I wanted to tell you.
Yeah?
As it happens, I came across some very valuable information. What brave conqueror of these wild lands wouldn't be intrigued by news of an ancient shrine, possibly full of great treasures? A place such as this was discovered by my old friends from Kadira, and it just so happens to be located in the lands that today become rightfully yours. My friends lack the courage to enter the shrine and seek the treasure, but what will stop us? We who know the taste of battle and have been singed by the same fire.
Interesting. Treasure hunt, I'm ready.
I'm sure you'd like to finally gain your official title and celebrate your victory.
Yeah.
And I don't like noisy parties and ceremonies. Find me when you return to your dominion. I'll rent a house in your capital. We can discuss the details of our expedition there. So long, friend. I'll call you so today because soon enough, all you'll be hearing is, Your Grace, Your Grace, Your Grace.
Saluting you with a cup, the tiefling girl steps back and disappears in the shadows. I was confused by the Temple of the Elk because Tristan's here. I knew we'd met him and been there. But I think we were meant to tell Jod afterwards and we never did that. Oh well. Ah yes, I see good old Restov hasn't changed a bit. Ah, it's Natala. discussing something with an unfamiliar old lady in a low voice. On noticing you, she breaks into a sugary smile. I don't trust that. You were not only tough but quick. Well, congratulations on your victory. Enjoy it while you can. Is this a threat? I would never. Yes, you would. I simply wish to warn you in case you don't fully realise the fate that awaits you in your barony. What do you think? Nothing good, I fear. The Aldori are dearest friends. Didn't deem it necessary to inform you their plans, I assume. See, they're preparing to separate from Brevo. Yeah, we've heard. It will not be a peaceful process. They lack the strength currently, hence using this legal loophole to create some independent allies. Once the civil war breaks out, your lands will be the first to endure a strike from Brevo's forces. Perhaps they'll erect a memorial stone, an independent rest stop to honour you. I wouldn't count on even that, really. What would you propose? In your situation, the most reasonable course of action would be to align yourself with the lawful rulers of Brevoy, the noble houses. The Eldori won't dare to rebel, knowing they will immediately become entrapped. You could help Brevoy avoid a civil war, while simultaneously enjoying some well-deserved peace in your land. I believe Jamande has already attempted to impose a guard on you as an emissary. I'm guessing her low-born stepson. I don't like your attitude, but still. The green-skinned boy Cassil. It's up to you, of course, but I'd recommend a different envoy. Please meet Chandra Murphy, an experienced diplomat who's more familiar with Brevoy's politics than any brawler could be. The old woman standing next to Natala gives a slight bow. I'd be happy to help you establish diplomatic relations with Brevoy. Yeah, I'll consider it. Think on it. Don't make any hasty decisions. See, I don't trust either of these two. But my feeling is, ally myself with these to begin with the powerful ones. Keep things in a balance. And when the time is right, cut a bloody head off and let's go. Let's try this side before we go speak to the bosses. Svanky Keeg, a handsome man with a weather-beaten face, grasps your hand tightly in his rough, calloused palms. Unlike the rest of the guards in their festive clothes, he wears a simple robe. The only luxury you see on him is a holy symbol of Eristil, made of solid gold. The other guests look at him with respect, some bordering on awe. Congratulations on your victory, he says in a deep voice. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Svanky Keeg, High Priest of Eristil in Restov. Do many people in Restov venerate Eristil? They revere many gods in Restov. They pray to Abadar, patron of city, and for Asma, gatherer of souls. There's some more rare cults. There's no denying the stag god has the largest congregation here, and no wonder people who've been farming and hunting for centuries. You're dressed surprisingly simply for such a festive occasion. Corners of the priest's mouth turn up in a faint smile. The nobles dress in silks and satins to stand out from the poor. The priest wears a simple robe to stand out from the nobles. Makes sense. Bringing law to the stolen lands is a difficult endeavour. I'd be grateful for any help you could spare. It's a truly noble undertaking. I believe your community will be able to provide you with some reasonable assistance. We will help construct a shrine in your capital free of charge. Nice. Honoured to meet you. Goodbye. Reg. To victory. Try the eclairs. Truth be told, I'm not really comfortable here. I lost my taste for ice state. Anis. The man's gorgeous clothes hide rippling muscles beneath them. He looks past your ear, obviously bored. Slap him. Baron Hannis Drelev, he says offhandedly, emphasizing the word Baron. And you must be the Stag Lord Butcher. I'm sorry, I quite forgot your name. We have forgotten yours already. But you took out the Stag Lord and his gang, and so Sword Lord Jamande is granting you permission to take his place, right? Well, congratulations. Their lands lie to the west of yours. I suppose we're neighbours now. Yes. I defeated the Stag Lord. Pray tell, what did you do to deserve your new dominion? Work appears on the Baron's face. I don't need to deserve or prove anything. Countless generations of my glorious ancestors have done so for me. If I had a slightly bigger army, Sword Lord Jamande would have simply given me all the stolen lands. Alas, I don't have as many soldiers at my disposal. So she had to urgently make barons, of the likes of you and Varn. Yeah, you need a slap. So you've no army, no special merits, you're just giving your land for being pretty. Under other circumstances, have you wit for such words? Try it. But let's not ruin Lady Eldori's celebration, If you want so badly to measure merits, we can do so another time. Goodbye. I'm not even going to insult him, I'm done. Feast in times of pestilence. Okay. Go talk to these guys. Yosef to start with, the mayor. An older man with full sideburns looks at you with interest through a golden eyeglass. Well now, it isn't the hero of the festivities. The protege of our dear Jamandi. You pulled this all off quite cleverly. I confess I wasn't convinced your enterprise would succeed. I even bet a bottle of my best Pitaxian wine against you. But I'm happy to admit I was wrong. The Eldori have always been at it, at finding new talent. How are things in Restov? Not when I boast, but things have been going quite well in recent years. Trade prospers, the population grows, and the citizens are happy. Although recently, especially after the disappearance of House Regovia, more and more troublemakers have been appearing, and people are talking about the most shocking things. But those sorts of rumours aren't worthy of your attention. But believe we've been introduced. So it would seem I'm Yosef Selimius, Lord Mayor of Restov. I rule this town and the adjacent lands. As your northern neighbour, I hope we can look forward to a long and fruitful friendship. So you rule Restov, and what about the Eldori? Brevoy's politics seem complex and incomprehensible to many. Here in this part of Rosland, the spirit of northern freedom still lives. We are loyal to the throne, of course. May the gods prolong the life of His Highness. But here, far from the dominions of the great houses, we have our own way of life. It is especially important now, after the certain events that I probably don't need to name. The Eldori Sword Lords used to rule Rosland. They're still the largest landowners and main military force of the region, but it's not for nothing that Restov is called a free city. We're proud and choose the Lord Mayor from among the citizens, considered not by their lineage, but by their merits. What kind of events are we talking about? Mayor Selimius gives you a patronising smile. Why, an aspiring politician needs to be well informed. I'm talking, of course, about the disappearance of the ruling House Regovia. Yeah, we've heard about that. Okay, it's nice talking to you. Please wait a minute. Young barony will need resources to establish itself. Scam. I reckon that's a scam. Jamandi.
So, how do you like our little gathering? I hope you've made some useful connections. Shall we move on to the official proceedings?
Yeah, before we begin, I'd like to talk about the envoy.
My apprentice, Casil Aldori, will go with you, won't he?
Chandra Murphy.
The emissary of House Sertova? Well, perhaps it's for the best. As they say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
If you say so. I'm ready for the ceremony.
Excellent. Stand here. Lords and ladies, today we are here to honor 3 brave people who have done the impossible. They've tamed the stolen lands.
Well, 2 of us have.
Drelev, the new master of Glenabon, Captain Maegor Varn, the conqueror of Dunsword, and finally, the tamer of the Shrike Hills, who put an end to the atrocities of the Staglord's bandits. Step forward.
Let's go.
On behalf of the people of the free city of Restov, I confer upon you this noble title.
Nice.
Rise, your grace.
Celebration is over now. It's time to return to the stolen lands as the Baron.
Victory! The Stag Lord's dead, and the capital of the new barony has been built in place of his fort. That was how the long and challenging taming of the stolen lands began.
Welcome, your grace. Keston salutes you. You can see he's a bit anxious, and he seemed he'd rehearsed his speech many times. Let me once again congratulate you on your victory and your new title. Lady Jamandi transferred me here. I'm at your disposal, not one to bestow honours. But I want you to know I'm glad to serve you. I'm here to welcome you on behalf of the new capital citizens. The Stag Lord's former stronghold will be your thriving city. Word travels fast. The first settlers have already arrived, with new ones approaching as we speak. While you're visiting Restov, much has been done here. Your benefactors, the Aldori, invested a great deal of resources in rebuilding the city. Stand ready to answer your questions and to show you around the most important sites. Where are my companions? They're all somewhere around here, but I never kept an eye on who went where. Well, I assume Tristan is with Jordan. You can always find Lindsay. All the noise and turmoil. Question is, where can I get a drink or three? Keston hesitates briefly, then laughs. I'll make sure to show you the moment we enter the city. The tavern was the first business that opened. Building a city is thirsty work. Nah, I beg your forgiveness for my behaviour during the reception. I drank too much. It's a day for celebration. We all drank too much. What are you talking about? Are there any citizens I should know about? Our old acquaintance Jod is here. Aristill's clerics normally don't like cities much, but he's eager to serve you. Also, the emissary from Brevoy is here, waiting for you in the throne room. There's all this curious matter. An elf has paid us a visit. A blind elf. There's no only knows how he managed to get here. Seems peaceful, even pleasant fellow. Though naturally a little odd. We'll let him stay here. It's up to you to decide what to do with him now. That's about it, though. It's the mood of the people. Must admit I've never seen anything like that in my whole life. A city, a whole barony born right in front of our eyes. People sense the moment, and today we're feeling proud. As a rule, I'm not too cheerful or chatty. I'd normally feel out of place among all the rejoicing. Today's just one of those days. Ready to look around, lead the way. Follow me. Greetings, Your Grace. We are, well, your new subjects, selecting a site for our house. It's wet near the lake and windy up on the hill. Fine place to throw garbage at your neighbours' heads, though. Ouch. Alright, come on, let's move on. Don't need all this guffaw. You recognise this place, Your Grace? This is where the Stag Lord's Fortress wall used to be. Ah. So we're moving into the fortress proper. They built buildings just outside. Not that it saved him in the end, no it didn't. Our workers did a fine job turning this bandit den to the heart of the town. Little market square. We plan to hold street festivities and fairs here. Look, we already have our first vendor. Greetings, Your Grace. Yeah, let's move on. Turn to the right from the square, you'll end up straight in our tavern. The tavern's ale is blessed by Caden Kaleen himself, I swear. And the lady who owns it is a gem. I've heard our baron is tall as a troll and his hair pure as gold and can breathe fire. Well, that's all nonsense. Well, except for the part about breathing fire. All barons can breathe fire, trust me. Welcome, Your Grace. Glad to serve you. Good. Move on. Your Grace, these are the guards, and they keep ordering acid or keep their mouths busy with gossip. There's little Arim. Here's the observation platform. I hope one day your capital will grow large enough, but won't be able to see to its full extent from the perch. This building in front of us is your residence. That's where we'll head now. This used to be the Stag Lord's place, and that bell was the alarm. It just built it up and out a little bit. But now we've reached main chambers. This is the throne room, where you'll hold court and receive visitors. Let me draw your attention to this large map depicting your barony and its surroundings. We'll mark all the important scout reports and other news worthy of your Grace's attention. Having finished his speech, Keston tucks his thumb under his belt and stands quietly. Good to see you, Your Grace. Chandra Murphy, the emissary from the Telesurf over, greets you with a brief bow. Let's dispense with the formalities and get straight to business. As emissary of the Royal House Silver, I'm here to offer guidance. To make sure you don't do anything reckless. I hope my experience in diplomacy and policy will be of some aid as you make your first steps as ruler of barony. And there's the first point we got. The main thing you should know is that the Baron can resolve some of the problems by giving orders to the representatives and advisors. There are some things you simply can't delegate. Issues of special import such as complicated court hearings or serious threats to security will demand your personal presence at the capital. Information about these kind of events will always appear on the map. Remember that you should visit the capital personally at the beginning of each month. By tradition of Brevoy, most of the River Kingdoms, it is then that the rulers address the day's most important issues and receive visitors. They should choose candidates for your highest positions in the barony. Not my place to offer my thoughts on this. Your clerics, Jordan Tristan, will the first to ask for an audience. I shall leave you to their capable judgment. Be wise and your rule shall be long and fruitful. Your Grace, allow me to congratulate you on receiving the title of Baron. I'm confident that you will be able to bring order to these troubled lands. George stumbles slightly. Though to be honest, this isn't exactly what we wanted to speak to you about. Tristan and I have been talking a great deal about what happened at the Temple of the Elk. It doesn't all make sense to us yet, but one thing is clear. There's a powerful curse at work. Corrupted the very essence of all the sacred place. Eats it with putrescence. I'm disgusted with whoever could do this. Jord exhales loudly, catching his breath. And now there is a new woe. Tristan and I believe the curse did not simply disperse of its own accord. There's a place near the capital rumoured by the locals to be cursed. Tristan and I visited this dreadful place and felt the same putrescence as at the Temple Elk. What is this place? There is a bald hilltop not far from here. I got one of them. Its crown is entirely barren of life. I got one of them. The locals believe that rituals glorifying the dark gods were held there. Yeah, some have said that about me too. In ancient times, there is no longer any trace of such rituals, but the air around the hilltop is very heavy to the point of stifling. The place is like a rotting wound, closed but not healed. And this wound will undoubtedly open again. Tristan and I felt something approaching, something ominous. The curse will soon return to plague us once more. I swear by Arestil. I'll go there as soon as I'm able. I would be happy to accompany you, but I don't expect to see anything new there at present. I agree with Tristan. We've been to this hilltop. It's barren, but filled with dense atmosphere of unease. What do you suggest? The curse will grow in strength, and we predict it will reach its peak of strength in about 1 month, when we should visit the bald hilltop and resolve this issue. But no, great idea. Let's let everything get massively stronger and then attack it at its height. Yeah, that'll work. But now we can only wait and prepare. We beg your pardon, Your Grace, for intervening with you getting a grasp of your barony I'm sure you have even more pressing matters at hand right now. Oh, we know what this has to be, don't we? Advisors. Regents. Ensures subjects' complaints and concerns are heard by their ruler. Oh, none of them that good. Valerie, you can go there. Counselor. Counselor deals with the troubles of the common folk. Chandra, you can do that. You look good for it. General. Reg, that seems right up your alley. Treasurer. I can put Heraldia there. She's not good. We need someone new. And High Priest. Harry, you're the misery guts, but you'll do. Right. What have we got here? Trade agreements. 1500 BP, which we only have 450. Guild points, I assume. His Vanky's offer. You can go do that. You can go rebuild a temple. And you can't research cursors right now. Claim the outskirts. Well, why don't you do that? Barony is expanded, yes. We've got the shrine ready. See what this is. £100, basically. Grace, spare me a moment of time. As you know, it's my responsibility to hear what words are spoken when you were absent. And I must say, what I have heard lately does not bring me peace. People are suspicious of their new Baron. I don't know how to resolve this. General holds out a piece of paper. I took the liberty of composing a list of wealthiest and most influential merchants in the region. All there is required is to hold a lavish dinner to show them how generously their support is rewarded. This would draw heavily from the treasury, but I'm sure they'll appreciate the gesture and your noble attention. Of course, you could use the dinner money instead to entertain your peasants. I wouldn't recommend it. The winds of the crowd change with the wind. So, because we're all Chandra. Cheap populism has never done anyone any good. So you'll throw out your money to the wind without achieving anything, but it's your decision. Arim looks embarrassed as he runs his fingers through his beard and clears his throat a few times. I heard, not that it's important, but, well, get on with it. He clears his throat again. I heard that an ancient trade road built by the dwarves of the Five Kings Mountains runs through these lands. I don't know what happened to them, or where they went. Unforgiving time spares no one. The road itself is still there, and possibly not only the road. Arim holds his beard in his fist. Well, Yorkie the Barbarian, I have a request. If you find any dwarven ruins in this area, I'd like to see them with my own eyes. Yeah, no problem, Arim. Thank you. Your Grace, I was at Oleg's trading post recently and I noticed old Bokken just standing there, bored to death with nothing to do. This is most unfortunate. After all, the old Grumble is a very knowledgeable alchemist. However, he has no use for his skills. Yeah, they probably don't need anything much now we've cleared out the bandits. And then it struck me. Why don't you hire him as an alchemist? That sounds a good move. Well, we can rank up this. Before we do, let's see if we can build up. It's not going to be fail. Yorkington. Enter. Right, let's get some buildings built. Here's. Longhouse. That also wants monument. What shall we go with? What else can we put up? Brewery, windmill, and tavern. +1 to relations next to Longhouse, next to barracks. Smithy. Dogs, nice. Brewery. And I want more. I want the windmill. Also the wooden wall. There we are. And that's built. Let's rank up. Loyalty rank 2. Merchants in capital. Chandra, you go deal with that. Troll invasion, to talk to them. Mysterious cult. You go deal with that. Trade taxes. You deal with that. Proposal for cooperation. We can't deal with that at all right now. Your Grace, Keston has a troubled look on his face. I fear there's some other matter that requires your attention. There have been reports of them from settlements across the Nile marches. There are trolls in the forest, seemingly hordes of them. Not good. Rumours claim they're more than typical savage beasts. They almost seem sure reason and tactics. They form groups to attack all at once, plunder the villagers, carry away the peasants. Even stranger, kobolds have been spotted among their ranks. when usually they'd be attacked on sight. Keston falls silent for a moment. I'm not certain any of this is reliable. Fear builds mountains of molehills. Some of the rumours even say the trolls carried torches and burned down the houses, seemingly unafraid of open flames. It's entirely possible the rest of the reports could be exaggerated as well. The common folk will hardly heed any simple exhortation. Someone will need to go to the Nile Marches to investigate the matter. Considering the matter when it hit me, what if you were to take on this investigation yourself? Forgive me, Your Grace, however, if this problem isn't handled now, by next month there'll be no one left to save. Yeah, good point.
Trolls who didn't fear fire? That sounded terrible, and dangerous, and terribly dangerous. If we couldn't rein them in, our young barony would be eaten up in a snap.
Inebrious dreams. The current dream has recently been troubling the Baron's slumbers. These valiant heroes entering ancient ruins, to descend under the ground, never to return. Their faces show stern resolve, their lips pinched thin. The angry red sun follows the heroes into the darkness, casting its fleeting evening rays upon them. Alright, Inebrious Depths. Wherever that is. And we want to build up here, don't we? What we need to do is get more of this. Do it by the river. Sheep on the lee. I think we'll hold off on what to build next. So I think we might have to build a shop for this guy. Alright. Right, that's where we'll end it for now. Next time, we'll go out adventuring. I've been Yorkie the Barbarian, you've been fantastic, and you'll be more so if you drop us a like, comment and subscribe, won't you? So do that for us, will you? I'll see you next time.